Okay, it's Town Dog, and I'm back in the FSX again. We're going to change the weather limit this time. This is going to be on an IFR flight for sure, and it's got to go from here to Grenada, Mississippi. We've got, we're sitting here at Shoemaker where we parked it earlier today, and the weather has changed, and we got a little emergency flight to make, and we're going to fly NDBs down to Grenada, and we're going to land the ILS because we won't be able to see, probably won't be able to see the airport to land on without it. So we'll use the ILS down there that they have. Hopefully it's got everything we need. I haven't tested it. It could be one that don't have no help when you get there, but it does have an ILS. We're gonna try it. Anyway, we're gonna leave here. We're gonna climb up to about 2,500 feet. In this area, nothing above 1,500 will clear everything out here. So 2,500 is plenty, and we'll use that also as an approach altitude when we get there, more than likely. Uh, and we're gonna leave here on a heading of about 195, and we're gonna fly to NDB. Let's see where I'm looking at now. We're gonna fly to the NDB. It's 362, and we'll leave it. We'll fly from here to it. All right, I'll skip something here. On Shoemaker, we're gonna leave out on the heading of 225. I thought that sounded wrong. Leave out on the heading of 225 and fly to the NDB 362, which is not very far over to it. And we'll leave it on a heading of 195, and we'll fly to a NDB off of it of 346, and we'll leave it on a heading of about 130, and we'll pick up the NDB of 245, which will be also the approach plate per the ILS when we get there. And the ILS is, Grenada's got 6 runways, three strips, 1331, 422, and I believe that's 1836. And they run everywhere from 7,000 down to 4,500 feet. The one I'm gonna land on is 7,000. I don't need all that, but that's what the ILS is on. That's one we're gonna try to use when we get there. Hopefully this thing will run this rain, don't quit on us. Don't think it'll quit on us. I don't have it cold for the fact that it don't have any kind of heat for PD or nothing like that. So since I haven't got all that added into the plane, I better not add no ice. Hopefully it stays warm enough here not to worry about it. And so let's get this thing fired up and ready to get in the air. We're gonna start off like we used to do. We're gonna get inside the plane, and I'm gonna set the mixture first to turn the gas on. We're gonna set the magnetos, turn the power on. Go ahead and turn the generators on while we're at it. Will it start? Everything looks right. Started right up. Okay, let the vacuum build up there. And we're gonna have to have a radio stack for sure this time, so let's go ahead and get us one up out here. Should have made that just a little bit bigger while I was thinking about it. I can, it's like a turbo now. Now we're gonna be pulling, like I say, leaving here, we're gonna go to the first NDB is 362, so we'll go ahead and put that on there. 3. 6-2. That's probably the first one right there. We'll fly straight into it. It's gonna be a heading of about 225 from here. So we'll go ahead and set this on 225 just to have something to look at. Where is it? 225. It's gonna be running along in. Oh, skipped it. Right there, 225. We'll go ahead and set the heading book over to match it. Which will be this. Going to get some power on here. We haven't turned that on yet. Let's get this on, this on, this on, this on. That'll give us something to see. Now we can set the heading book on 225 also. Now this is going to be pretty close. When we pass it, we won't have a long, it's not going to be very far to the second one, I don't think either. Maybe a pretty little flight to the second one, but. There you go, right there. And I said I'm going to fly at about 2,500, so let's set it there on 2,500. We're going to use all this for some kind of the weather and the fact that I can't fly without it myself. I'll have to have the autopilot do not crash this thing before we get off the ground. Oh, here we go. Now let's see if we can get this thing there. At least it's not as bad as I thought it would be here. Quarter-mile visibility, rain, fog, clouds right there on the ground. Once we get in there, it's probably going to be a little different from what we actually see. But maybe it'll be enough to see how the land will get there also by using the ILS to get us in on it. Might not even have to have it the way it looks, but I plan on being a little bit darker than I got here. In there, let's get above these trees. There we go. Now we're above the trees. Alright. No, we don't need to be as fast. About 95 is what I've been running this plane. Let's turn into that. And just back down to about 95 airspeed. Alright, now let's get inside the plane for a minute and see what we got. Have we picked the signal up yet? Where would we see that? Right here. I want to say that gold needle is pointing toward it right now. I believe so. So that means what we're going to do is get that gold needle to the top. I'm going to test it just to be sure. Does it go away? Came back. Alright, the gold needle is right on the right hand side there. The gold needle is where we hit it. It is right. Now the 225 doesn't mean anything anymore. We got to go to that needle. That was just to get you to the needle. The needle's on. Let's fly to it. When it turns, we got to change our heading. The heading out of there is going to be about 195, I said. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this to 195 right here. We're not using it to fly by. Alright, that's the direction we'll need to be when we leave that NDB. Alright. I don't know how far the NDB is. I don't think it's very far from us, though. It's a little airport. It's West Memphis is where it is. We're just across the river. Right out the river bridge. How much visibility we got outside this plane? That's what I was sort of hoping for. Won't be no scenery looking tonight. Okay, that's what we got. White out. At least it ain't snow. Here we go back inside the plane because that's what we got tonight. Alright. Needle on the gold needle on nav 1, nav 2 is pointed straight toward the NDB. The second NDB is 346. So when we pass that, we've got to set up 346 and turn to a heading of 195. This is going to be a totally IFR flight. Depending totally on the gauges. If you can't trust your gauges, you might as well go home. we got going here? Like I say, have no distance, no range, no nothing. What we can do now, I got one more thing I can do. This is just for a benefit of what we're doing. 11750. This is just so we'll know where we're at. That's Memphis VOR. Alright. The green needle is going to point to VOR Memphis, which is on the about 2/3 of the way down the airport on the left, on the south end of the airport. So when that needle becomes right off my left wing, that's where we're at. It'll also give us a distance from there, but it won't help us on where we're actually going. We may have when we use the ILS at the other end, I didn't pick on a VOR for the other airport, but we do have an ILS and an NDB at the runway, so that should get us there. The NDB is the runway approach plate. The ILS approach plate. What it looks like. Okay. Where are we and how far are we? The green needle is still pointing to the front about 20-30 degrees, so we're probably, I guess 2,500 to clear. We're gonna be somewhere pretty close to that river bridge, come think of it. Hope we clear it. I believe 2,500 to clear it, no problem. You know, I hadn't thought about that when I said what I did. Really didn't. I don't know whether we'll be able to see it or not, but we're headed across, might say across the river bridge over to West Memphis. Hopefully we won't get tangled up on that big M structure. Could have flew around a little more, but I thought it was really important. When I said 2,500, I still believe that L1000 should cover it no problem, clear. Well, I really don't know how tall it is. I didn't check, didn't look, never thought about it just now. And we're headed from Shoemaker to West Memphis, which is probably cutting almost straight across that bridge on an angle. Now what we can also do, which I don't really care to be honest with you, but we've got this right here, which will give us more of a general idea what we're looking at. That's probably going to be West Memphis right there. That's probably West Memphis right there at that little ILS thing. Which that's where we're headed straight into. We're already over into Arkansas. The bridge is not a problem. That's just looking at that. But it's going to be over here somewhere between here and where we are now. It's to our left. But we're off the water. We're over the bridge. Should not be involved here. I'm going to close that back up. It was just a thought there. Now we can bring these up outside the plane. We don't have to be inside the plane to use them. That's what I got them for. The same thing as being in the plane. Needle on the gold needle on the right is pointing straight to the NDB. The yellow needle on the left is the heading I want to leave the NDB, and the green needle is pointing straight to the airport. About 2/3 of the way down the airport on the south end. That's where that VOR is located. Between the runways. Between 18 right and center. 18 center. That's just on 36 end. We are right now becoming parallel with that VOR. The next half mile or so would be parallel with it for sure, or past it. What I said, I can use, I got a DME here, which I know it's got DME We're 14 miles west of the airport. 14.3 miles west of the airport. And come up on our NDB here shortly. It's going to be somewhere, I mean, it should be almost parallel with that airport if I guess, but could be off a little bit there. It could be a little further down, could be a little further back this way. But just quick as we see that gold needle on the right over here start to swing, we're going to change courses and start setting up a new NDB. We can stay in the plane and do this, but I mean, ain't no more inertia out here. I'm going to use that right there. But anyway, we still got something here. The green needle right there, it's unpassed. So the airport VOR is behind my left wing slightly. It's 50 degrees outside, so we're not worried about ice. Just fog and rain. But I didn't put building the thunderstorms. I didn't want all the thunder and lightning carrying on. I don't want the noise and anything. Alright, the needle is turning. Let's bring this around the direction we want to go. That's where I caught it, and we want to set up my new NDB 346. Well, we gotta go down. We're not in range of it yet. Apparently, I hope I got that right now. I swear I do. 346 is what I got on here. If that's wrong, we're going to be lost all the way. Only thing I'll have a chance to do is cut across and hope I can find that ILS on that runway. Or what other. We're headed. I said 9.5. I come down to 9.1 is what I've done. So 9.5 is what I want right there. That's where I want that heading. Looking for another NDB. We can set up a thing to tell us when it comes on. ADO, we'll do it right there. That'll tell us when it comes on. If we're not looking, we don't see it. Gold needle on the left. Whoa, I believe that airspeed needle just popped in the view. I believe it had just faded away or something. Now this here trip may be a little bit longer to do it. Hopefully I'm going the right direction. I know that it's definitely south and east of where we're going. We turn back toward the east of them, so that's right. Easterly direction from where we were, not actually east. Actually more southern direction, but just trying to specify that side of the plane. 195, and looking for the. Now we can also tell we're 13 miles from VOR in Memphis, and when that gets to be 50 miles, we've done travel far enough to be beyond what I would expect it to be, beyond. It is 250 miles to Jackson. 300? About 300 miles from Memphis to Jackson, I think. And we're not going quite that far down. Alright, just got lined up here. navigation light turned itself off. We started out at dawn. It was dawn time of day. I went back and looked at that Concord flight that we did over to SeaTac, trying to figure out how the autopilot got turned off. When we started down, we started going down too fast. It wasn't holding itself back. Couldn't figure out why, and I saw the autopilot was off. The reason how it got turned off was when I set the autopilot pop-up into the panel where we could just look at it, use it as a cover over the other one. When I stretched it, I got so close to the autopilot, I actually turned it off. I got too close to the autopilot switch, it turned it off while I was stretching it. I didn't see it. When I caught it, after we done started overspeeding it, going down too fast. Well, I seen it was off, turned it back on. But I watched it down that area. I backed it up several times to try to figure it out. I saw where I reached up to stretch that autopilot to fit that little square on the panel there. I grabbed the edge of the autopilot too close to that master switch and turned it off. When I stretched it, I also clicked the master switch. And that's how it got turned off. But we managed to catch it and fix it and get it down and land it without tearing it up, so everything's alright. Now we are where? We still don't have a signal. I hope we get a signal. I didn't test fly this or nothing. I have no idea. And I wrote them numbers down. Hope I didn't misread them. It's easy done when you're trying to grab something in a hurry. I'll put this little flight plan together in 10 minutes. And decided to fly it. Almost zero visibility. I got a 1/4 mile visibility is what I've got. So when you come in, you should be able to see the runway once you get to it. I can set up my ILS on standby because we need that radio for nothing else. 110 right there, 1109, that's it. Right there. And the runway heading is 130. We are 15 miles off of the airport. It's behind my left wing about 30, 35, 40 degrees from my plane. So we're just barely getting past the end of the airport now. We're headed down to Clarksdale. That's where this NDB is in Clarksdale. 346. That's what I got on there. If I wrote that down right, we got it made. Provided it works. I mean, everything in this FSX don't work. Most of it does. If you said 2000, I'd say no, don't expect none of it to work on this part. A lot of them been taken out and it won't come up. I tried to fly a little loop around backside of edge of Tennessee, between Memphis and Jackson up in there, and I couldn't find that. There's several of them, but I couldn't find. They wouldn't come on. I flew to where I knew where they was at, and it still wouldn't come on. 2000 pulled them out apparently. I was getting them out of the other simulator to use them. I'm gonna have to put my air back on. She's got the heat on already. It's hot in here. I don't want to put the heat on with air on with the heat on though. It ain't in this room much of it in it. Got my vent cover plumb up. But it's still pretty warm in this room. We ain't picked that signal up yet. Nope. It's just sitting Clarksdale, Mississippi, just to the east of the river, and probably a few miles. It's not too far from, because like I said, I had to leave it on the, we'll leave it on the heading of 130, so that's still south-southeast, so we get pretty close to the other. Go over here to Grenada. Grenada's on them lakes down there in Mississippi. We don't want to put this thing in a lake, you know, we want to put it on a runway. Still don't have no signal. We're only 17 miles out of Memphis. That ain't enough to, that's probably going to be 30, 40, 50 miles now. So that means we'll have to fly a while before the NDB actually come on. Just as long as we're on a course that'll put us within the radius of it, we are. I believe we are. I could be wrong. We get lost, I'll pull the GPS up, look at it. Until then, we're going to let it go. If I knew how far it was, I could circle with VOR out of Memphis, but I don't know how far it is down there. I'm going to say it's at least 50 miles or so. Maybe a little further. Maybe a pretty good little flight. There's another few miles from here over to Grenada from Clarksdale. Trying to keep my eye on these instruments. Well, at least I do have that thing on to tell us when it comes on. We're not looking at it, don't start beeping. I should hear. Flying straight down 195, course of 195, course and heading from the last waypoint, which is, we didn't land the waypoint with them, but we shouldn't have to, we're close enough to it. We turn more or less right across the top of it, we turn. We're just behind it. Now if we had two of them, watch the boat. There's only very few planes in FSX that carries two. NDB 1 and 2. They do make it. There's only a couple of planes got it. That I know of. Get outside and check the weather again. I'm going to bring this up so when it comes up, I'll see it. We could cheat. We could fly into sunshine. Sometimes it does that. In fact, there's the sun right there shining through the horizon here, through the clouds. But you know it's on the east. It's early morning. It's going to be on that wing right there, yeah. Right, that's east. Oh, looks like I see some treetops shining through, or cloud tops one. We're still looking for that. We had a full tank of fuel, so we should have enough fuel. There'll be no such thing as finding fuel out here, unless we just accidentally look up on something. I can make my way down to Jackson and back. Probably find fuel. But that'd be, by the time you get to Jackson, you done pay it where you're going to land. Be the turn. This is about a flight in the end. There's nowhere in it. But that's the idea of it. Find your way in them when there is no way. I ain't there. That's what this is. Back in here. And our fuel flow is 14 gallons an hour. We got 35 gallons in the plane. We only burned 6. We're staying there 2 hours, 243 miles, or 2 hours and 28 minutes. I started to put more switches in this thing so I add some feet of heat. Maybe de-icer or something on the props. And then put some snow out there. The rain's good enough. Still don't have no signal. And we are 24 miles out of Memphis. It is now almost 45 degrees from me behind me on the east side. We still don't put us way down there. When we get down to, it ought to be almost straight behind us time we get to Clarksdale. Not hardly, but almost. But I haven't checked anything to tell me where the river's at. Whether I'm this side of the river, crossing the river, going down. Hell, I may be headed over to Texas. Don't think so, but it could be. Due to where the north's located, but from here north is almost straight north, really. Straight up the map. It is straight north, of course, always, but here is straight up the map. But if you get off to away from the center of the United States, the east side, it starts to lean back the other way to be north. And right down through here, it's almost straight up the map. That's what I didn't allow anything for angle this time. I had straight, so I called it straight. Chicago is 10 degrees east of Memphis. It's north 10 degrees east of Memphis. It's 10 degrees, take you straight to Chicago from Memphis. 0, 1, 0. I sure hope we don't run past that and not pick it up. Like I say, when we hit 50 on that Memphis thing, I'm starting to wonder. I may want to start cheating a little. Looking for it. Not that it'll do any good. I'm not going to turn if it don't come on and I messed up. But I'm going to go down to that. I'm not going to turn until I know I've lost it. I feel like we'll hit it. I ain't missed one in a long time. In fact, I don't remember the last one I did miss. If ever. I guess I have a few times. I want the GPS up to see what's in front of me. I don't want to do it either. I don't want to cheat. But sure am tempted to. As long as I don't turn, it wouldn't make no difference in actual facts. "28 miles out of Memphis." Well, I see it's 300 miles to Jackson, or so. 350 down to where I went down there, and I crossed the river in Jackson on 20, but then went 25 miles or so south on take I went down in about 25, 30 miles. Then we turned back toward the river. That was 350 miles out of from my house, which is almost 60, 70 to Memphis. But I still give you 200, and it's going to be at least 100 of it right here, probably. This could easily be 100 miles down here to that VOR. But at 50 to 70, it should be on, but it's going to be, if not sooner. Miles out of Memphis. It's now getting to be more behind me. But it looks of it, I'm probably still across the river in Arkansas, headed down toward Louisiana, but I'm not going to go that far down, I hope. But that'd be well past where I'm going. Now I'll tell you something else I can do. It'll keep me an idea where I'm at. Take this one right here and switch it down and go, I believe it is 1410. Same as Nashville. We didn't pick up one. Maybe too low. It definitely didn't pick up anything. Check some. This is checking that signal. Jackson. No. 1200 low. What was 1410 down this way? 1410 Nashville, but something down this way too. I still believe it's a 1410 right around Jackson. But I've got 1200 is what I've got here. It's low, so you got to be within 50 miles for it to come home. I knew it would be on. I'm going to say it's a 1410 down here, but I've used it coming down this way. But I don't know. I feel like it's down around Jackson, but it's a high altitude it is, which should have been on. Actually, Nashville will almost be on. We're not very high, that makes a difference, a big difference. I can climb just for signal wise. Also got a lot to do with NTV's not coming on. You got to be closer to them when you're not very high. But I wanted to keep it down low and slow because of this weather. I'm high enough to be clear of everything. I don't want to be way up in the clouds. Sort of stay under other traffic. My intentions here. High Jackson, Nashville would almost come on. But there would be about 50 miles all that reach, then you got to be at 6,000 for that to do that. At least around 6,000. I don't want to climb that high. Try this right here a bit longer. 35 miles. I think it'll be 100 miles. I don't know how far it is to Clarksville. I really don't. From Memphis. I didn't get anything else. It had other signals, but I didn't get them. Well, I got the DMEs. I'm gonna pull the GPS. I didn't really want to, but it won't hurt. Oh, we are in Tennessee though. That's one of the things I want to know. KM. I see KM's in. So that tells me we were right. I didn't really want to look. That's it right there. It says it ain't very far though. It don't give me the signal, and it's saying I ain't that far from it. May have it read wrong. That's it right there. CKM. That's what I got on this paper. But if we're 15 miles, it's supposed to be on. I may have to go to the map and look at it. See what I read wrong. I might have read something wrong. We are on single Fahrenheit, so I can do that. That looks like a 6, but that dot 0 could be a 341. I'm gonna check that. I think it's a 6, but it could be 341. That's it. I read it wrong. I got a 341. That dot makes it look like a 6. At least I didn't have to go to the map to find it. There we go. Now that's it right there. But I should have had it earlier. I had it wrote down wrong. Well, they wrote down wrong. I just wrote it down. I couldn't read it. It is. It's 341. But that dot makes a 6 out of that one. So close. Looks almost like a little 6. But after looking at it, I said that dot could be that dot. That could be a 1, and it was. So I didn't have to go there to look at it. Anyway, that right there is where we hit it. And we're all right. Now we're gonna ease over that way toward it. It's on now. We only GPS said we had 15 miles. By that, I knew something had to be wrong. Had to use GPS to prove myself. Didn't want to. Alright. Just got my needle down back to in front of me. And we'll be leaving this one on the heading of 130, I see it. So we'll run this round to 130. That's where we'll be leaving this one on. And we'll set the NDB up on 245 on that one. I believe that's what that is. It should probably be on almost when we turn it on. Won't be long. I thought I should be, by the time we get this, see I said 50 miles, we should be getting down in there. Got 41. I'm gonna be up just about 50 when I get to it. Which I was expecting maybe to be 90 to 100, be 50 to get it on. 42 miles out of Memphis. And we'll cross the airport off our right wing again as we go over this other airport. Whoops. Now, I turn slow when I don't turn too much. Bring it back over that way a little bit. Plane gets over slow in it. I done overreacted. Should be it right there. Gold needle needs to point that little orange dot. That's pretty well did on it. Now, get rid of this now. As soon as we turn, we've got to set up our next NDB. Like I said, it was 245. That is on the airport we're going to. It's actually on the approach to the ILS. The ILS will probably be on by the time we get the signal on for the NDB. The ILS will probably be on. The ILS runway heading is 130. And our approach from here is 130. That's going to be one we'll run down the barrel, and well, this might look like you're going to saw it. So, watch the needle on top. So this swing, we're going to move this, hit this plane toward that other to change the NDV. We'll turn first and then change it. Don't be no blue past it. I'm gonna pull 5 degrees roughly east of that or south of that easterly direction of that marker, about 5 degrees. That'll give me a breaking point when I get there. So it's not enough to hurt me. It'll put it on that side and it'll break that direction. It won't break the wrong way. Set up our NDV and we'll start watching for our ILSs once we turn. The needle is swung a little bit more than what I turned. I've come back 2 degrees toward it. The airport's going to start coming back to our right wing again. It should be in front of our right wing when we turn, actually, I think. If not, straight off of it. Wait, we'll need a swing. That's the only way you know when you do that, because you don't have any distance to it. 50 miles out of Memphis. Needle is moving. Needle is moving. It'll swing pretty fast here just in a minute. It's close enough now for me to start turning probably, but I'm going to give it a few more minutes. See, it's coming on around now. It's starting to turn. Alright, we can make our turn anytime now. Here we go, make a turn. Turn it to 130. There we go, right there on that. Alright, our next NDV was 245. It ain't on, it's okay. We're not close enough to it yet, and our ILS is bringing them up now. Start squawking them also. Park that ILS needle. Now one south is what he does. I'll park this one, and I'll mark this one. And that'll tell me when they come on. Alright, we done made our turn. We got her set up 245. That's what's on this book. But it's not scribbled. No, I think I got that. got a needle. We've got a. Alright, let's slow this thing down a little bit. Within 40 miles, we're going to slow down to 80 knots. There we go, we should hold altitude with that. And now we're going to turn this one off. And we're looking for the green needles to come up. And the nav 1 and nav 2 boat to come up. Just walking the noise marker on nav 2. But we do know now where the approach plate is. It could be as much as 40 miles. ILS come on about 24 miles out. 24 to 26, something like that. Right. Just walk from ILS. See if we can find a place to land this thing. We shouldn't need that really. But I do want these here where I can see them. Bring them there where I can look at them. And this right here, we'll just bring it a little. Well, I need to keep that out of the way a little. Seeing the ground around the wings. We're still holding altitude. Slow it down to 80. It says we hadn't, but we have told it to. Difference in what it's reading and what the estimate reads. One's reading miles per hour, the other's reading knots or something. Probably. Back to here. We're 82 knots. Falling to 80. Come on, give me a mouse. Miles per hour, 90. 81 knots. Headed to 80. That NDB out of Memphis. I no longer got to Memphis. So you are. If I took this in here, I can actually use this to look around more. Alright, Memphis is behind my right wing again, so we done passed that. That's the Memphis VOR doing the squawking, so turn it back off. I didn't check see how far we were. We're still around 50 miles, I imagine. 52 miles. Looking for an ILS. Hopefully it's got all the aids that we need to get it down. I don't know. If it'll give me a DME, I'll probably get it down. Airport altitude, I said, was 208. So it's 200. We have to do our own downward flight. We use 300 as a base. Try to find the airport. Slow down enough to nose in front. Whoa! We got somebody here. I ain't supposed to be more prayer than I thought I might have. Was that my own numbers I saw? Or was it a AI? I saw numbers. That's my own numbers. Showing up in the clouds. 26, travel air, that's me. That's my own numbers. Still over ILS. It might not beep outside the plane up to here. But we get the needle wheel jump. One to come up to it will split the bar probably. I might be able to mount him in here if I wanted to, but I don't really want to change this panel that much. This is visual 3D. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't change it. If the gauges that are in here are behind the panel, when you move them, they'll disappear to be behind the panel. Then you really can't do nothing except swap them out in the hole. Can't add none. You can take it out, put it in place of it, but you can't actually add another one somewhere else. Utility picked up an ILS. But I believe we will at about 24 miles out. We don't have anything here to go by. No DME, because we're running NDB. But the NDB is only about a 40-mile range, so if we travel 20 miles, we should be within 20. We can, like I say, we can spot check this every now and then. 53 miles out of Memphis is behind my wing now, just about 20 degrees. I'm going to turn 2 degrees to the south. That gold needle begins to drift in a little longer. We ain't to it yet, we just drifting out. Don't believe we're to that one other way. Now the GPS will tell me where we're at, but I don't like using it. Sometimes it's all you got left. If we pass the NDB and don't pick up the ILS, we'll know that something's wrong with it. I don't believe that's going to happen. But I didn't even want to plane over to see if it'd come on or anything. I could have tested it before I started the flight, but I didn't. You see exactly what I see. And there's really not a whole lot of anything as you can see. You can't see the ground at 2,500 feet. Quarter-mile visibility when you get down there. Rain and clouds right down to the ground. Crossways to Memphis Airport at 50 miles downwind, south of it. And the VOR is, as of right now, behind my wings, so we run past the center line of the airport. But Grenada, I think, is slightly east of that area, of that line, but not much. We're traveling southeast, almost 45-degree angle. But why I call it more that, I don't know. Morning just logged in. Not here though, he logged in whatever he's doing on 2020. I'm starting to get itchy again, wanting to hit that. Whoop, we got the signal. We got the signal. We got whoop, where's the other? Now, we're going to slow down another 5. We're going to swing to the left. Well, we'll give it just a minute. Don't want to make the same mistake we made on Wicked Swing, though it won't be as bad. I'm going to start that way. That could, within a minute, switch sides. A lot of times they do. So I'm going to start that way just in case. Give it about a minute, and we're going to turn it on and cut into it a little harder. We haven't picked up our glide slope yet, so hopefully we'll have one. Come on over that way some more. 130 is the runway heading. Ain't it? Yes, what I got there. And so is my approach line. We're just a little bit south of it. I'm gonna say that's good enough, but it ain't gonna change sides. Let's get on over. Alright, as soon as I turned it on, it took charge. Now we're flying localizer on the ILS. Looking for a glide slope. I'm gonna slow down to 70. This thing should fly a little slow now. We want our altitude. Make sure we don't start losing altitude before we're ready. It is flying its own self into the localizer. Could have flew over a little further first, but it should make its way over without any problem. Alright, we don't need all that noise maker on either one of them. Don't really need the radio stack no more. We do have a DME 25 miles out. That's what that's worth more to you than anything else you can put on there. Your localizer, your DME. The glide slope should come on at about 18 probably, more. Anytime with it. If we get a glide slope, we got there, no problem. If we don't get a glide slope, we gotta let this thing down. Next 24 miles, we gotta be 400 feet off the ground. 400 feet, sea level. I'll fix to calibrate. Anything is wrong, straighten it out. Alright, we're going to be turning into the airport now. Still on our glide slope. We're still 24 miles out though. That's 24 miles from the ILS, from probably the runway point. Touchdown point roughly or something. Could be down the runway further, but plane should turn a little here. That really done much on that. Sometimes they'll fly across both ways a little bit before it actually does much. We don't have anything here to go by the we're still at 2,500 feet. We ain't lost no altitude. The compass is setting back up now. It's running a little past it. That's alright. The plane here is not really refined that well. It may run way past it, make it turn. Turn slow and I'm flying so slow. Now I could set the approach, but I couldn't leave it on. I'd have to turn it back off. And turn it back on once the glide slope gets active. Then it probably wouldn't lock it. But we're coming back around. We're going to start back toward the bar now here in a minute. At the moment we're still separating. We need to get back around there. Glide slope could be any time. Between here and 18 should be on, I would think, if it's got one. We don't know that for a fact. And I don't really know how to look at it and tell, to be honest with you. I could have told you that DMV if I looked at it. But I couldn't tell you if it had a glide slope or not. Alright, now we start to ease it back toward the bar. At 15 we got to get down there to it. If it ain't come on by 15, 14, something like that. There it is, we got it. We got a glide slope. So I'm gonna try to drop 6 more knots, 5 more knots, 65. See if it'll hold altitude at that. If not, we'll add the speed back. Alright, now we're waiting on the dampers to start to slide. I'd like for them to start to slide so I can get on the approach before that yellow bar past center again. This thing's going to be still back and forth until I get on the approach. We're still holding altitude pretty good. We drifted a little bit on altitude. Maybe it's a little bit slow. We have drifted over a few feet. I'm going to go back to 70. I don't like that little bit of drift. It ain't much, but enough might make a difference. Up on the approach. Just a very few feet under the awful level, but just climb back up right now so I set it back up. Alright, we passed the bar again. Glad slope doesn't move yet though, that I can tell. When it moves, we'll set the once we know it's moving, give it enough movement. I can wait to go down to the past that first of the lines if I wanted to, but I'd rather get on it quick as possible where I know the little catch. And once it gets off them 2 lines over the top, we know it'll work. Pretty sure it'll work at that point. Still ain't got off them lines yet. Miles out. Time hasn't slid yet. About 14 they'll be sliding, pretty sure. If not, we'll pull that. I'm expecting him any minute to see him move. Not sure that hasn't moved a little already. Come on. See if we can get it on the ground without tearing it up in this weather. Still ain't slid yet, enough to see. Still holding altitude, speeds stable. I got my throttle set straight up, it'll be a little extra probably when I take over. does look like I see a little bit of change in that line. But they both the same. It's centering that bar better now too. So you get the narrower that band gets, the easier it is to stay in it. I said 14. At 2 more miles, I should have some movement. If I can see it. Won't move fast, just barely move. I actually believe it doesn't move, but it's such a small amount I can't see it. If you turn it on too quick, the altitude light will go out. That's wrong. You can warn that at this point. Goes out now, reach up, turn it back on. It's wrong. Many people have snapped that on and called it good. One really ain't. Still ain't got no movement on them diamonds that I can tell. 15.5, mile and a half. We should have it by then. Enough to see it. Could go 10 or 8, but I don't think it will. 14 to 12 to 14, really up to 14 to show. I'm looking at them awful hard, but they don't seem to be moving. I want to reach for and drag them down a little. We're still holding altitude though. Everything looks good. 14.8. Maybe 12 before they moved, but I thought they'd move at around 14. Not worried about them not working, it's just wind. Once I see them, I'm not really worried that much about them not working. We're pretty well on that line. Localizer ain't bad at all. And it'll refine it a little bit when we switch over. Under 14, we're a half mile under. We still haven't got any movement there. The bar is getting more centered though. Still want to move before I do anything, but I don't care if it takes 8 on that thing. We're low enough though, it's going to be pretty close. I'm 4,500 feet high too. I'm not this time. If I was 4,500 feet, they would definitely be done moved by now. That's what the difference is, really. I am much lower than usual because this plane don't need that distance. All it needs is a little bit of time. Come upon 12, she still hasn't moved enough, I can tell it. See no lights or nothing. I don't know if it's lit or not though. Probably is. It'll probably be lit. It's gonna be under 10 up there. That's my altitude, what difference is. I'm trying to push it for that high altitude. We're not up there. We're plenty high for where we're going. We got 2,200 feet to drop. We'll lock on till probably 8 to 7, 6 to 8 miles. Wind's looking. There's level. Don't rush him, just give him time. It's up to the bird. You know you do about it, but try to fly it, you just waste your time. That's what the autopilot's for. Alright, I see a movement. The one on the right, one on the left, the little hand is off of it, both of them off of it. We can set it now. I'm going to set it right now. That suits me right where they're at. Approach is set. It won't break over till the lines get down the middle. Along the long lines, the middle is where it takes over it. Altitude light will go out to that point. And we'll have to come down 1,500 feet before we see the ground probably. Hopefully we'll see it out of this plane. You may be over the runway before you see it. You can't see out of this plane enough to. If each side, if the runway is perfect, it will be good. But ain't, we may have trouble finding actually getting it down on it. Alright, won't be long now, she's gonna lock on to the glide slope. Altitude light goes out just another mile, something like that. When them diamonds get sunrise white, they should cut the light out. It's out now. We're on glide slope. I'm not going to slow down anymore at this point. I want to slow down at 5 again before going down. We're gaining altitude over the breakover. I am going to slow down. I said I wouldn't, but I am. Slow down to 65 again. See, we're high right now, but the plane is making its adjustments. If we go below that line much, I want that speed back. When it breaks over, it may get a little below it before it levels off. Right now, it hadn't got enough downward movement to start down the slope good. It flies across the line and over into it, back down into it. Trim moves on this plane slope. That's what flies the plane. Autopilot uses trim to fly it. Alright, the timers are coming back up now. We're moving into the line. If they come above, completely off the line, I'm going to add the speed back. Or it gets where it looks like they're going to leave the line. The throttle itself will pick up a little as it needed. Back to the point of what I had said, but not above. Alright, coming down. Altitude. We are falling through 2,000. We have done dropped 500 feet. Oh, we done dropped 700 feet. I'll say it'll take 1,500 to make it look like doing something. The plane will actually set itself down. It won't land itself right. It has no choice but to set down. Hopefully we'll be able to see it take over at that time. Get my hands so I can turn the autopilot off if I see a chance. Alright, we just passed the outer marker on the approach plate on the ILS. So we're within the feathers. Be looking for the ground. We are 1,500 feet. And the altitude is 200. It's got another 1,000 to go without any problem. We get outside the plane just a second. Nothing out there, man, but just bad weather. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. The zero put me back inside the thing. I see the ground. Back inside the plane. Alright, get ready to turn the autopilot off. I saw the ground outside. I've got to see it inside though. I saw the shadow of it, that's all. We are passing 1,200 feet. 1,000 to the ground. We may see some lights, we may not. If we fly straight through and land, we should be alright anyway. We may land in the field somewhere, but we're going to try to land. I'm thinking I'll see the ground when time gets right. Or enough to get it down. I can't take over till I know I'm there though. Because I may not find it if I take over. They keep coming down the glide slope. Alright, we just passed 1,000 feet. 700, 800 feet, we'll be on the ground. I don't see no lights, see nothing. I see ground. On the left. Don't see no runway, but I see grass and stuff. Where we at? 700, 500 feet, 300 feet to the ground. 500 feet to the ground. So come on down. We're doing just fine. Diamonds look good, everything looks good. Let's stay on the line. Hopefully, we'll find something here to land on here in a minute. But low enough now we can actually fly the plane if we have to. I'm looking for an airport. If we'd get on the ground now in a minute. I don't want to touch the ground before we get to the airport. The ground may be high out here a little bit. Looks like maybe we're getting ready to land. I've got the plane. The trees may be a little high here. Or I believe I'll see, oh yeah, that's it, there's the airport. I don't know about a runway, but there's the airport. There's the runway right there. Get over there. Get over there a little bit. Didn't come straight in on it, did we? Oh, the auto throttle didn't go off. It's off now, but it wasn't off. I say it's off. Don't act like it is. Set that thing down, quit that. Act like it's still trying to. It was what it is. Once you turn it off, you have to redo the throttle. I didn't move the throttle. It was still pulling even though I turned it off. It didn't go off when I was supposed to though. Alright, we're on the ground. We made it. Could we park this thing in all this bad weather? I see some buildings. Runway here closed. Yeah, the autopilot didn't shut. Throttle didn't shut off on me like it should. It almost caused me to overfly that runway. And even though I forced it down, once I hit that auto throttle again, I should have worked the throttle again. I didn't. But whatever it's set on when you turn it off, it'll stay set till you work till you move the throttle. Alright. Let's put this thing away for tonight. This was a successful little flight. Didn't see much. I knew wasn't going to see nothing when I left the ground. It was actually a little, it didn't look quite as foggy as it really was while I was on the ground. Alright, we can throw this stuff here off. Lock the brakes. Oh, bring this down here, starve the engine to death. Turn that off. Turn that off. We'll cut these lights all off now. And the power. That's it. She's down. And we landed with 26 gallons of fuel still. About half of it. Okay, that's going to be it for tonight. Probably not nothing else coming on tonight either, because it's getting pretty late. What time is it going to be? Clock tell me right here. It's 12:30 a.m. Monday morning here in Ripley, Tennessee, and I'm fixing to call it a night. So that's it for now. This town don't be gone. Bye bye. Catch y'all later.